Hello, I'm Santa Barbara County Sheriff Bill Brown. Our county has been struggling with jail overcrowding for several decades. Because of overcrowding, our jail currently operates under a court-ordered population cap. That means that many offenders never make it to jail, and many others must be released before they finish their sentences. This situation erodes our criminal justice system, reduces public safety, and degrades the quality of life in our communities. We need more jail space, but we can't solve the jail overcrowding problem simply by building our way out of it, any more than we could solve it by focusing exclusively on alternatives to jail. What we need is a blended strategy, one which balances law enforcement and corrections needs with cost-effective prevention and intervention efforts. We can best serve you if we can prevent crimes from happening in the first place, or if we can keep offenders from committing new crimes once they're released. I asked and convened a Blue Ribbon Commission to look at our jail overcrowding problem. The commission was composed of respected people from throughout our county, with expertise in the fields of criminology, corrections, court administration, probation, substance abuse treatment, mental health, homelessness, public administration, and the law. I asked this distinguished group of men and women to study the jail overcrowding problem, recommend solutions, and stand with me in presenting those recommendations to the Board of Supervisors and the citizens of Santa Barbara County. The Blue Ribbon Commission met twice a month for the better part of a year. This video summarizes the Commission's report, findings, and recommendations.
The enforceability of court's order is an integral part of the integrity of the justice system. If the court sentences someone to X number of days, and they don't serve those days because the jail is too crowded to keep them, it starts to degrade the integrity of the court's orders.
Jails are really the entryway into the legal system for most Americans, and so they're incredibly important. And it also is the first step where people learn how the system works, whether or not it has deterrent value. So if it's crowded, and if it's seen as letting people out early, then the deterrence or the scare value, if you will, of jails fails to protect us.
We found a gentleman at the homeless shelter who had 29 warrants out for his arrest and had just gotten a 30th ticket on the warrant. You know, there's an idea for people who are involved, you know, particularly in petty crime, that really nothing's going to happen.
Since 1986, we've been under a court order regarding overcrowding, which requires us to release inmates early or place them on alternative sentencing programs to eliminate or reduce floor sleepers. Even with 200 to 300 people on alternative sentencing programs, we still have almost 1,000 people in the jail, which is rated for 818 inmates. That's 120% of the rated capacity. We should be at 85%, which are the standards, the recommended standards, so that you can manage your population safely in regards to classification issues.
The jail overcrowding limits the space that is available for people to go into custody, and it really then, I think, impacts on the public safety, which is our mandate. So we need desperately more space so that those people who are truly dangerous can be kept in custody rather than released just because of an overcrowding problem.
One of the biggest problems of overcrowding, it presents safety issues to the inmates and the staff in the facility. We run two very important programs to reduce recidivism. One is the Sheriff's Treatment Program, which is a drug alcohol counseling program, and the other is a GED program through the local community college, Santa Barbara City College. Both of those programs have a very good success rate. The problem we have with overcrowding is that we don't have adequate space to run those programs to involve all the inmates that would like to participate.
87% of the persons who finish drug treatment in our community in Prop 36 have no new jail days for the 12 months after they've completed this program. You know, sometimes when you're working with a recovering drug addict, it's really important to put a person in custody overnight if they have a dirty test or they're in violation of probation, or maybe put them in custody for the weekend. Instead of giving them a full 90-day jail sentence, sometimes that's all they need to remind them of the consequences of bad conduct. The problem has been when the jail is full, you know, we can't use that flash incarceration tool. It really takes one of our biggest tools out of our toolbox.
Every study and analysis done on jail capacity in Santa Barbara County over the last 20 years has recommended increasing our jail capacity. The Blue Ribbon Commission agrees with these recommendations. We believe public safety is being compromised by the lack of capacity and the resulting jail overcrowding. The most detailed of these studies projected that the county would need 800 additional beds by the year 2020. While we may need 800 new beds, the Commission is only recommending we build a jail facility of 300 beds, and that simultaneously we invest heavily in prevention, intervention, and recovery programs that would make the need for those additional 500 beds unnecessary.
Well, ever since the first jail was built 200 years ago, we have never been able to build our way out of capacity. So if you build it, they will come. And the only way to really affect the problem is to prevent.
It's got to be a solution that involves how do you stop filling the jail beds no matter how many you have. How do you have alternatives to jailing people or preventing the crime in the first place?
We now have very solid empirical scientific evidence showing what works for people at different stages of their lives with different needs. Not everybody is alike, and it's simplistic to ask what works. We certainly wouldn't ask that in medicine, what works. We would ask what kind of treatment for what kind of person. And we now know how to customize those programs.
For someone who's mentally ill, to begin with, jail is not a good place for them to be. It has all the wrong stimuli going, and add another layer of difficulty to the whole jail milieu and the custodial staff.
The importance of prevention, intervention, and recovery is that it gives people hope and it gives them another chance. And oftentimes individuals just need the tools available so that they can grab onto them and be able to change their lives for the future. And tools include relapse prevention, it includes aftercare, it includes how to deal with situations that are uncomfortable, anger management.
At the same time, there's 800 or 900 people who are chronically homeless who have been out on the streets 10, 15, 20 years. The vast majority suffer from chronic alcoholism, drug abuse, and untreated mental illness. To truly address the problems of chronic homelessness, you have to treat mental illness. You have to treat drug addiction and substance abuse.
Gangs have a tremendous impact in our community, and I think most important of all is that they are able to grow in size and influence if unchecked. And I think what they do then is they take away that choice, that kids have, because they do reach down at a very early age to recruit their membership. And they take away the choice that kids have to stay in school, to stay out of the criminal justice system, because they're pressured into becoming gang members. And I think that we really need to make an effort to start establishing prevention programs.
Community corrections programs such as day reporting, work furlough, sobering centers, and state-of-the-art GPS systems will have a very strong impact on lowering recidivism rates. These programs allow the inmates to participate in life skills training, drug counseling, work programs, vocational ed programs, which will help them to return to the community with skills that will hopefully prevent them from re-offending and returning to jail or prison.
The cost of building a 300-bed jail is $80 million.
Building the jail today is economically appropriate because it will cost more to build in the future. If the past is any example, and I think it is, 10 years ago the jail would have cost 50% less than it is today, and my sense is that 10 years from now it'll be 50% more than it is today.
Governor Schwarzenegger's Prison Reform Act, AB 900, provides what may be a once-in-a-generation opportunity to have the state fund 70 to 75% of our new jail.
Santa Barbara is a community that is small enough so that the problem is at this stage we can handle it. We have a relatively small population. We're not so overcrowded. We do have a multitude of prevention programs ready to be kind of activated.
We know here that we have a serious deficiency in the number of beds. And I think that there's just no question that we need to increase the bed space, probably even more than we're going to be able to under the best possible scenario. On the other hand, we also know that just increasing the bed space, just putting people in custody is not the answer to reducing the crime problem and the suffering that occurs from the commission of crimes. We do need the prevention, we do need the intervention programs. And I think, we need to be creative about them, and we probably need to take some risks in implementing them. And I'm sure that there will be some failures, but that's just going to be part of making the entire system better.
I want to thank the members of the Blue Ribbon Commission on Jail Overcrowding for generously volunteering their time and knowledge to this important endeavor. My hope is that the Board of Supervisors and the citizens of Santa Barbara County will support the Commission's recommendations. Effective short-term and long-term strategies need to be adopted and funded now. This situation isn't going away, and the longer we wait to address it, the more expensive the solutions get. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting us as we protect your safety.